to this computer. All right. So I'm going to welcome everybody. Welcome to social media part 2, but is it really part 2? Social media is such a huge all-encompassing thing that's forever changing. So it's kind of like social media again, like next round. Oh, Jackie Montana. Hello, Miss Jackie. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm taking some things out of my social media CE class that I teach because I think it's important. I talk about it briefly, but I really want to cover a couple things with you guys that I haven't covered in a very formal way. So we're going to do that. One of the things I want to talk about is who is on what type of social media. So LinkedIn, did you guys know was the first one to actually launch? It came before Facebook. It came before, LinkedIn, yes. 2002. But these numbers need to be updated. I have not found the most recent. I'm sure they're much higher now. Hi, Rosanna. But currently, there's more than 610 million members on LinkedIn. But the most important thing about LinkedIn is not that. It's that 90 million plus are senior level influencers. This is what we really need to think about. 92% of Fortune 500 companies use LinkedIn. This is incredible. And the last thing that I put on here, I don't know who that is, but is that only 3 million of the LinkedIn users share content every week. The point is, remind me later, oh gosh, get me back over here, is that people who go on LinkedIn are going on for content. It is that those senior level senior level influencers. It is those Fortune 500 companies. So when you are thinking about who am I going to target on LinkedIn, those are the people. So let's say, hello, we're Sotheby's, right? What do we do better than everybody? Well, pretty much everything. I know that was a loaded question, but what do we have that nobody else has? Let's put it that way. The most amazing global network, okay? 75 different countries and territories, but more importantly, our relocation, Sotheby's to Sotheby's, is insane, right? So this is really important. Also, we have an incredible relocation department, and our Sotheby's, so not every Sotheby's affiliate has a relocation director. Some of them are smaller and they don't. We do. So we even have a relocation director. So what does that mean? It means that Alex would happily pair with you and create an entire relocation program for, maybe it's a type of business that maybe it's a group of people that are doing sort of a co-op. We could create a program for anybody. So where would you gonna go? Where would you put that? Would that go on Facebook? Would that go on Instagram? In my world, it's going on LinkedIn. Where do relocation directors spend their time? Right? LinkedIn. So this is the kind of thing. If I'm thinking about how can I grow my sphere on LinkedIn, I'm going to be growing it about our global network. I'm going to be sharing great content about what's happening in that luxury market, right? Because who's on there? Senior level influencers. By the way, who's probably, and we have to say probably because it's not, definitively set yet, moving here from Burbank, California. Top level executives from Disney. So we've got tons of people. Tesla, damn it, did not come to Florida, but they might in the future. We don't know, but we've got everybody escaping California, right? Think about this. I have never seen so many referrals come through California to Orlando before in my life. We have a new feeder market, guys, which we never had before. But what are these people doing? They're also going to be needing to relocate their business. Hello, what a great opportunity to connect with them on LinkedIn, share fabulous content. Look on our websites. We have so many great pieces about relocation, guides to relocation, helping get you set up. We have a wonderful Move Concierge, guys. Who else offers Move Concierge? I'm gonna tell you, nobody. So Move Concierge has created that program for us, particularly. We can help them, from the beginning to the end of that nuts and bolts move from wherever they're coming from. And that could be on a personal level, or it could be on a corporate level, if you think about it, right? They need corporate space. We can help with everything. So this is the important thing to understand. If I'm going to go on there, I'm going to go on there and utilize this for LinkedIn. That's going to be something that I would do. So that's why I want you to know who's on LinkedIn, right? Who's on first, who's on second. Also, what's interesting is if you look at the demographics, it's pretty split evenly between males and females, but not a surprise. The larger group are the working people, right? You've got a lot of people who are out there in their careers. But most importantly, look at this. This is the largest demographic shift between all the social media. The largest group by a good margin, college plus, and they're the highest earners. It's not a mistake. These are the people on LinkedIn, and they go there for content. They go there for solutions. They go there for answers. They don't go there usually for sweet little tidbits. They want content. So keep that in mind when we're creating that social media content calendar. Now let's take a peek and look at Facebook, who came 2 years after LinkedIn. I love to say that. Facebook. Now there are more than 2.5 billion users now worldwide. I think it is crazy that on average, more than 1.6 billion people log in every day, and probably even more now, to be honest. But what I really like to point out here, the most important thing is what else they own. They own WhatsApp. They own Instagram. They own Messenger. They don't own YouTube. They are competitors. Google, Facebook, they might play in the same space, but they're competitors. So if you're going to share anything on any one of these platforms and you want to bring them to your YouTube channel, they will bury you. Now, WhatsApp's a little different, right? That's like a direct message or anything. But Instagram or Facebook, don't share any links to YouTube. If you're going to do that, use a bit.ly, because you will never get any kind of algorithm boost off of that. They will bury that message. And that's the important thing to know. So does it mean that we can't connect in the way? No, because we can send them to our website. They can also send them to our YouTube. We can do it, but we can't certainly post a link from a video from YouTube to Facebook. That will be buried on purpose by Facebook. Now, the other interesting thing is there's a little more women than men, but you can see this is the most interesting thing, in my opinion, about Facebook. It is so evenly across the board about how many people are using it. It doesn't really matter your age group. Although I was a little surprised to see the 13 to 17-year-olds, because honestly, I have kids and they're really on Snapchat. So I think that the reality is truly a lot of them create these profiles for colleges. You know, they have to, right? That's a lot of times the way that they've had to create some. Maybe that's where we're seeing a little bit more of that. But the reality is they're on Snapchat. I mean, okay. But here's the interesting thing. Again, how even it is based on income, based on your education level. This, to me, Facebook is by far the most broad-based social media platform. Who's on it? Everybody is the answer, right? So when people say, well, Carrie, what does that mean to me? It's so specific to who are your friends. And that's what's cool about Facebook. You can see who your friends are. Like LinkedIn, you have these connections, right? But you don't really know if they're looking or whatever. And obviously the same thing is true with LinkedIn as it is with Facebook, in the sense that if you want to connect, for example, with a high-level executive at Disney, you want to connect with as many Disney people as you can, so that by the time you try to connect with that high level, they see you have all these mutual connections, right? And then they're like, oh, I must like this person. That totally works, by the way. It works on me too. Facebook is a little different because it's very easy to hover and see what they do and see who they are. So yes, it does help when you can really find people and then kind of connect with their friend group. That is definitely a great way to use Facebook. But just keep in mind that also, you want to make sure that you keep it true to who you're trying to target. So you have to be hyper specific when you're trying to create some kind of a presence. Meaning, people say, Carrie, when is the best time to post on Facebook? Well, it totally depends. Who's on your Facebook, right? And did you break the people in your Facebook into groups, right? So I think I used this example last time, and I'll use it one more time. I have a lot of moms in my group. Not a surprise. I have 3 kids, right? Hello. So am I going to post to a mommy group at 8 in the morning when they're getting the kids ready for school? No. But what I, post to, say, a group of folks that are maybe millennials or, business people, I might post 8 o'clock because they get in the office, they have a cup of coffee. What do? They start looking on their social media, right? So it totally depends on who that person is and what they do. Again, a mom group, I'm not going to be posting during bath time, dinner time. I'm going to post afterwards when they're grabbing a glass of wine and saying, thank God I have some time. I'm looking through my social media. But if it's an executive, they may be working on all those things. So I'm going to post to them about 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is a really good time. People say 2:33 is a great time to post because everybody gets that 3 o'clock lull. Let's go get a cup of coffee again, right? And, when they say when they get home, I don't really know if that's accurate. I mean, you guys can answer to yourself, how often do you see yourselves going on there? And are the people in your Facebook, do they have similar lifestyles to you? But again, Facebook is the easiest to separate people into groups and post specifically to that group. So if I want to have a message about something with the schools that would be interesting to my moms, but not to my less senior level influencers, right? I don't want to just post that message out there all the time. People are going to think that's all I care about. So I might post that message about the schools just to the moms that are in my group. And then, because I have that whole group of people. And then in my senior level influencers, maybe I'm going to be posting stuff about great stats with luxury, things that are happening in the luxury market, right? Things that maybe my other group may not care as much about. And that's what helps you build a following, because you're not posting stuff that nobody cares about. You're posting stuff that that group more than likely will really care about. Any questions on that? Now, guys, this is when COVID hit. So take a peek and see what happened with the traffic. Insane. I mean, all across the board, YouTube, Facebook, Netflix. And honestly, I have not seen anything leveling off and going down. I mean, it has not. These sites have increased their amount of usage so dramatically since COVID started that if you were not on social media before, do not waste another second. You need to be out there capturing information. You need to be out there creating an audience, and you need to be out there specifically at deciding what you're trying to tell them to do. Because if you're not doing that, then you're just posting into it's like you're creating a library of information. Like, who cares, right? Nobody's going to look at that. It has to be something that people care about. All right, then you have Instagram, launched in 2010, which to me was like, oh, that was yesterday. But honestly, 11 years ago, that's crazy, right? It was 11 years ago. So more than 1 billion users, more than 500 million people every day. One thing I think is really cool about Instagram, guys, is that 25 million businesses are on there. And remember, the way they used this is reposting. They would find people that had a big following with something that was similar to their brand. Let's say it was luxury. Let's say it's a Mercedes dealership or something like that. And they'd find maybe a luxury realtor or somebody who does, luxury watches or whatever, find their following, repost their stuff with their own twist on it. And that way they're getting in front of that audience. So if you're not using reposting when you're using Instagram, you're missing out. That has been a really successful way that businesses have been able to really use Instagram in a great way. More females than males, which I find interesting. And again, not surprising, it's the younger demographic that are more heavy users. Again, you have a couple of people 65 plus, they might be heading up. But I honestly think the biggest interesting challenge has always been with Instagram. How do we connect with people? Because it is so highly visual, right? But are we really sending messages? But I've noticed that sending messages has gotten much bigger. Have you guys noticed that? A lot more people are sending messages. I got a bunch of messages. Yeah, I think it's really, it was a need that we needed and that we were missing. And I think that it's really now starting to take shape. So I'm interested to see where that messenger sort of goes. Has everybody been finding that people have been messaging you more from Instagram? Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering, are they trying to transition away from Facebook?
I think that actually they want to double dip, and it might be that it's easier since you have the business of the person right there. You don't have to change platforms. And then also Instagram now, they are doing, the shopping cart, the message, and you can click on the link. So it's just so much easier.
It's true. And I honestly think it's easier to use on your phone than your computer for sure. Whereas Facebook to me is easier to use on your computer than your phone. So that's probably another thing. So everybody's mobile and everybody's on their phone. So I agree with you. I think it is they've really, I think, upped their game in Instagram, and it shows. So I'm wondering what they're going to do next to start charging us. But anyway, because it says Facebook, right? So let's see where that goes. All right. But another interesting thing with Instagram, again, is you still do have a lot of the younger folks, but you'll notice that you still have a larger percentage of folks that are high, a little bit higher educated and a little bit higher income. And I just think it's because it's a lot of the younger, business folks that are out there using this, as well as, everybody. But I think that's the demographic of who's using this. Number one thing though, with Instagram, one thing that I've seen to be very effective is to have a constant sort of theme on your Instagram. So if they look at your Instagram as a whole, Exactly. And who's done a great job at that? So everyone should take a look at his is Dexter Colbreth. He did a great job on his Instagram. He actually has his posts that they match up. So if you looked at them as a whole, it actually creates like a whole big picture. He did a great job. It looks fabulous. So take a look at that. I think that's a really we can't spend our whole days doing these things. But one thing that is true is if you see somebody who does something good, right? It's great to just pick and use and kind of help just add in one thing at a time to grow your platform in the way you want to. All right, we all know how to use social media. This one thing I want to go over. This is something we talk about this a lot, guys, but when you're ready to do a post, and I'm not just saying a post to share, I'm saying a post that's on purpose. You're planning your week, your social media content calendar, or more importantly, you're planning on paying, whether you're going to use Boost or you're going to do a Facebook ad campaign. Don't just throw money out there and have a general ad. Those things don't do anything. Okay. I don't care which platform you went on. If it's a general ad, like they say, you market to everyone, you market to nobody. Nobody cares. You do this great ad. I'm a luxury realtor. I understand your needs. I'm so ethical. Nobody's going to read that, by the way, and nobody's going to respond to you. So I will tell you it's nice, but nobody else will. So the reality is, that is not how you post. You've got to do a strategy that is on purpose. So here it is again. Who are you trying to reach, right? What is the purpose of this? And then that's going to tell you what platform you need to be on. Is it about relocation, trying to build that relocation business? Because everybody from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, California, they're all moving here, guys. They're escaping their states. So is that a bad thing to do right now? Not at all, because they're coming and they want to get out. Things aren't getting better in New York. I don't know how many, I have family there. Things are not getting better in New York, right? Mm-hmm. Things are definitely not getting better in California. I just had a lovely conversation with one of our customers here who's from California, who's sharing with me actually just how bad it's gotten, showing me pictures of what a mess their streets are. And oh my gosh, it's like a war zone. It's so sad. These folks they don't want to leave California, for example. That's their home. They love it, but they're looking for something better for their family. And they like the fact that our climate here is very similar and we have the beaches, right? So we are really got to take advantage of this because this is the time. So if that's your objective, the question is, where are these people? If it's to the actual people themselves, I think your best bet would be Facebook, because we know that is the biggest blanket of who's on, what social platform. If you're trying to reach relocation directors or business owners, I'm going to LinkedIn, right? Now, if I'm just trying to do like a branding thing about Orlando and why move here and what we got going, I might do that on Instagram, because you could do a really cool little video with some titles sharing about the top 5 reasons. So maybe you do a series of posts that say the best kept secrets of Orlando, why you move here. Right? Maybe one's about the fact that we don't have income tax and what does that mean in your pocket at the end of every month, right? Or maybe one's about the fact that we have so much space because they don't in California, right? Maybe one's about, since we have so much growth. See, California is long established, like New York, right? Here we're not. We have growth happening all around us. Don't you want to get in on the ground floor, especially if you're a business owner?
And low cost of living, and a city that is prospering. And even if you make an investment, you're not in the tourism industry, because we will have again 70 million people, our city will continue to prosper.
Absolutely. And it's not only about, you're exactly right, the tourism. I mean, if you look here in Lake Nona, to me, honestly, sorry for everybody everywhere else, but Lake Nona has the biggest upside potential of growth this year because of this whole medical city. Right? Think about that.
Right. Are you gonna start defending Lake Nona again? I'm headed with you. You love that place. Okay, I'm jealous now. Stop it.
But Winter Garden also has a really cool New Burnham Cancer Center opening. No, but truthfully, guys, there's so much growth here. It's so exciting. So these are the things that, you could create a really engaging post about. But again, be specific. If you take everything in one post, no one's going to read it. You're going to lose your audience. So if you wanted to do something like that, that's a perfect thing to break into small little segments. You got to think, when you're posting social media, it's like talking to a child. Okay. You can't tell a child. If I tell a little kid, okay, I want you to first pick up your shoes, then go brush your teeth, then do your homework, and then clean the table for dinner, I'll be lucky if they remember to pick up their shoes, right? Like, step 1. That's the same thing on social media because it's the same amount of attention that each post is getting. And that's truly what it is with a kid, right? Children are developing that sense of attention, putting the focus, attention span. But social media is the same thing. People are skimming it. They're looking at it to something to catch them. So if you have too much information, for example, God love the mortgage people, but if they put that whole message out there, I mean, oh my God, honestly, if I look at their flyers, I have a headache.
Everybody that hates math is gonna hate that.
It's like, why didn't you just put a post about all the tax things out there? For God's sake, like no one wants to look at that. Like horrible, right?
I want to share something about the posting on social media that I just boosted a post from my condo here, and I specifically boosted in New York City. And I actually did. My call to action was, if you'd like me to do, if you're not in Florida, and if you'd like me to do a FaceTime with you, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to do so. Call me so I can FaceTime you the property. I don't know, Mode helping me with it, but I'm just saying that, because I'm marketing over there, they're not going to call here, but I'll be happy to do FaceTime and show it live, the apartment for them.
I love that. Now, listen, if you're boosting to New York, okay, you got to think, why do people live in New York? I can tell you because I lived there. We lived in New York City for convenience. We are all about convenience. So what is the top convenience factor of being where you are, right? You have fabulous restaurants within a touch of your hands. Listen, New Yorkers, we love to eat. We all are foodies, right? We all love to eat. We love walkability. So that's important. So Winter Park could also be good for a New Yorker because we love walkability. And the other thing is too, let's be honest, we also want to be able to get out of the city because that's why New Yorkers always run out every weekend. You have a weekend place, you have a summer place. You got to get out of the hustle and bustle. So if you talk about the fact that you have the best job growth here, right? We do, but you can escape to the parks all around you. You can escape to a half hour away. You don't have to go drive and deal with traffic to get out of the city, right? So these are the things, to your point, Jules, fabulous. When you are targeting a specific area, you've got to understand, why do they live in that area, right? What do we have that's similar to them that we can now use to help get a more engaged post? And then what's the call to action? A FaceTime with you so you can see this, one-on-one. People love that. People love being taken care of. They love the instant gratification. So that's a great one. Okay, so that's part of what is your focus, right? Are you trying to earn trust, brand awareness, become a resource? What is it you are trying to do? And what is your call to action? So Jules, yours was great. Maybe if you're doing a Facebook ad campaign, remember you have two opportunities of lead capture, right? In a Facebook ad campaign, and our boost works similar to that too. One, they have to fill in information because we're always going to do gated to get something great. Make it good. Make it have some really key fancy words like free, best kept secrets, something. Everybody wants to know what other people don't know. And everybody wants to have everything first. And so that's what you got to think about. What would I click on? One thing, if you're trying to if you ever feel like, oh gosh, I just don't even know what to do. Look through, just search online quizzes, online surveys. Which one would you open, right? Great content to give you an idea. Another thing, go through people's Facebook business pages that have done well with their posting. Look under page transparency and see which post got the best engagement. Why wouldn't you do that, right? It's all available for you to see. And I don't think Facebook wanted to do that, but I think that's part of one of the fair housing lawsuits because it's called page transparency. But what a great thing, right? So again, and when you're also thinking about the technology, it's not just the platform, it's what type of post. Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be a carousel of images? Is it going to be one image? If it's one image, it better be a great image, right? It better be great because it's not going to capture attention. Videos always outperform. Always. But if you had a fabulous, I should put it on here. Gosh, I could look for it, but I have this one. It was a realtor who, I don't remember where he was. Great idea. What he did is he put out an ad and he said he's going to do some commercials for real estate, and any kids who want to be actors, in his commercials, come out to this thing. Well, how fabulous. Everybody thinks that their kids are the best and wants their kids to be, right? So we got all these parents to come, very smart. And he got them to sign little waivers and whatever. And he had this cute little kid screaming, ah, like this in front of a for sale by owner sign. Now, that did a couple of things, right? It made everybody laugh about the fact that for sale by owner makes you feel that way, right? He also was able to build a fabulous network of young families that might want to move up, which was exactly the point of what he was doing, right? But I'll tell you, that one post got so many hits, and there's a couple reasons. One, it was not only a great idea, but guess who else liked it and shared it? All the families that came. Yeah, exactly. So, people, if they know their kid is in it or they're in it, you don't think they're going to be sharing that thing? It's going to go viral. Use these things to your benefit. Think of people's human nature, that's what works on social media. When people are like, I don't know how to make things go viral. I hate to tell you, I'll never forget poor Sophia. She was doing an open house and she fell. She was basically climbing. She tripped over the coffee table, flew up in the air, landed and broke the glass coffee table. Thankfully, she was fine, but that thing went viral. Absolutely. People love watching other people fall. It's terrible.
America's Funniest Home Videos, man.
Yeah, America's Funniest Home Videos, exactly. Food does really well. Nobody likes to see someone who's totally fit and perfect eating some carrot, right? If that's you, just eat the carrots in private, and don't think, okay, I'm just going to shove a big sundae in my face because now we're going to hate you more. So, you got to, right, Jules? Let's be honest, okay? Now, if you want to look totally disheveled and be like, oh my God, this is how I have to do it, we might like you and respect you. So keep that in mind. It is all about human nature. And if you try to be too perfect on social media, which I see a lot of people doing, you're not going to get people, I see especially realtors crack me up. Who's this one realtor? Oh gosh, he's obviously not with us. He stands in front of a Rolls Royce or something all the time in this tuxedo and whatever. Okay, the guy doesn't own that Rolls Royce. Okay, he probably didn't even own the tuxedo.
Right.
You look up his numbers. I mean, I don't even think he had $1 million. That is not going to do anything good for you. People aren't going to look at you and say, wow, I want that guy to represent me. You know what that might do, though, which would be why I'd never do it, is you're going to get all the new agents calling you saying, hey, can I be on your team? Because they're the ones gullible enough to think this guy's successful. The rest of us are going to go look him up and be like, okay, whatever. So, right? Come on. We all know we do it. So the point is, you've got to be authentic and you've got to really think about the purpose of the post. Because if you just randomly post, especially if you're paying for it, you're just throwing money out the window. So one thing I do want to go over very, very quick, some do's and don'ts. Social media is about engagement, guys. We talk about this all the time. One thing, it's not about likes. I hate likes. They're stupid. They don't mean anything. So that's why when you did a Facebook ad campaign, it's funny because it's automatically set up for traffic. We don't want traffic. That means likes. Who cares? You have to change it to lead capture. That's why if you do a boost, you have to make sure you do the gated because it's for lead capture. Exactly right. And that's what we want. We don't want likes. We don't care about views. We want engagement. Okay. Now, when people do respond, they do, respond to you, you have to respond quickly. So the worst thing to do is set a really fun or cool post or a poll or something, and then go into like a meeting for 3 hours because people are going to be commenting and stuff and you're going to miss out on all the engagement. And to go back 3 hours later is just, you're not going to get the same effect. So you've got to be ready.
After an hour, if you don't respond to the comments, they don't even count it.
Oh, see that? Instagram gives you an hour to count the comments. Otherwise they're gone.
You have to comment back, to reply back.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to reply. You can't just reply. You have to reply with 4 words or more. You can't just reply with thanks or thank you or anything like that. It has to be 4 words or more.
Oh my gosh. We're getting homework now.
Yeah.
You need 4 words or more. Thanks so very much. There you go. But seriously, it does make sense though, right? Because the whole point we did it was for engagement. So Be consistent. This is the number one thing I have to say. I see agents make a big mistake on, because they're like, Carrie, I was doing so great. And then the holidays came and I got busy and I haven't really posted in a couple months. That's not a way to do, to create an audience. And that's the reason we use Buffer. And that's the reason we use InStock Social. InStock Social is to build that page, the business page, because if a business, somebody goes to see if you really are a good realtor and they see that you've been silent for a couple months, what do they think? Oh my gosh, what kind of an agent is this, right? So you need auto posting for that purpose. The Buffer, again, is going to auto post to your business page. You have to, or to your Facebook group, which is another great way to use it. But you have to automatically share it to your personal page. But remember, your personal page, you've got to use that very, very generously, in terms of making sure you're very careful about what you're posting. Just sold, just sold, just sold, bye-bye. Friends are going to be defriending you. So you've got to really be cautious. So it's a really good thing that you can't just auto post there, that you have to actually share there. And then you can really make it specific to what you want. Again, have a content calendar schedule. That is the best piece of advice I could give you. It makes it so much easier to create that content for the week. Mondays, you sit down, okay, it's, Model Monday or whatever you want to make Monday about. Tuesday is, things around town. Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Living Large is Thursday, and On the Town is Friday, whatever that is. But that makes it so much easier then to create that content. And people are like, oh my gosh, I love when Jules does On the Town, because she does these really funny videos and she interviews people and they say the funniest things because she asks these crazy questions. Listen, that's the kind of stuff people want to see, right? They don't always want to see the same canned responses. It's boring. Nobody cares. You got to make it interesting. I love, if you're going to go, maybe you want to get into the new construction arena, right? And you want to create those relationships with the builders, agents, right? It's important to do that. Interview them and ask them, what's the funniest experience that's happened to you since you worked here? You're going to hear some great stories. Now, you might want to ask them before you go online, just in case it's something you need to because I've worked with new home agents and I can tell you that some of the stories probably are not appropriate to share, but but the ones about the snake, like stepping right next to you as you enter into the model, some of those are really funny. So, but that's a great way to do it. You and the agent are laughing. You're creating a great relationship. You're getting great content. So why would you work with a great builder? Well, because you get to work with Beverly. Beverly's amazing. And I'm going to be here with you. And Beverly, she's not going to tell you, but she's going to give us the best deal. So text me or message me for your best private incentive, right? Like everybody wants that special incentive that nobody else has. Now, we know what money or whatever back off pocket stuff we have. We say, hey, when my people come, they get this upgrade, which is in this price point. It's going to be the whatever upgrade, kitchen upgrade, or, you could call it whatever you want. That's what makes it cool. It's not just the money. You create a special something, a package. You don't even have to have them give you something else. You come up with what's the number one upgrade in this community. Okay, and we do that with the incentive money? Yes. Okay, so let's make that my special thing. So when people say I want the Carrie special, that's what it is, right? Not to say they say they don't want that, you can't change it, but that's not the point. People feel like they're getting something different, special, and unique. Right? Why wouldn't you do that? When I worked in new homes, I knew what money we had. First of all, by the way, we never really tell our agents what we have because they will tell you everything. So just saying that. Jackie's on. Jackie, is that true? We don't tell people what we have.
Yes, that's true.
Because those agents will be like, but Carrie, they're the nicest people. Like everybody I heard about was the nicest people. Okay. So I wouldn't share everything, but I would often walk in and say, guys, so what's happening with Super Sunday? What's Super Sunday? Oh my gosh, did you not get the email? Of course, because I never sent it, because I made it up on the spot. But it's about giving them something to reach out specifically to people. And people get excited by, whatever the thing is. It's a special super media package upgrade or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It should be something specific. Also, remember, if you are doing any kind of advertisement, you must post it to your business page first and then share it. I do know, those of you know who Derek Petrozelli is, Derek was kicked off of Facebook for a while because he was doing that directly to his personal page. He didn't know, and they closed him down. Now he's back in action and all that, but yeah, this was a while ago. But they do watch this stuff. So just make sure, because that's their rules, right? Make sure you're following that. Now, Want to go over this very quickly because again, you know how I feel about compliance. Big. 3 things you always have to remember when you're advertising. Number 1, it is so critical that the consumer, the customer, understands that you are licensed and who you're licensed by, who holds that responsibility. So it is critical that you always let them know if it's an advertisement, if it's a post about luxury outlook or something, not important. Of course, why wouldn't you want to put your name in your, but I'm just saying, if it has anything to do with call me for your, or text me or message me for your private FaceTime, listen, that could go one way or another. So we got to make sure they understand it's about real estate. Just saying, Jules, make sure it's clear.
I swear to God, Maud helped me and had a picture of the condo, and I swear to God, and I should have put disclaimer, please be fully dressed.
Yes. Yeah, that's the other part about realtor safety, okay? But number 2, again, it all goes back to them understanding that you're an agent and understanding how to look you up, which is why your last name, not your first name, not your middle name, but your last name always must appear as it does in DVPR, which is why when you see my name on the damn doors, it's never my name that you call me by. It's Carolyn Ann Pollock Prieto. People are like, who is that? And I'm like, I don't know. My broker's Carrie Prieto. I have no idea. But if I were to do an advertisement, I could say Carrie Pollock Prieto. If you notice, that's how I sign every dot loop. And if I sign something Carrie Prieto, it was not a legal file because I cannot sign legally as anything but Carrie Pollock Prieto. Again, they don't care about my first name. I go with Kiki. Nobody cares. But I have to use Pollock Prieto. So make sure, especially those of us who have more than one last name, why do we do that to ourselves? That you make it very clear that you're doing that correctly. And number 3, you must, next to, up, below, or adjacent to the company brokerage name, have a point of contact. Right? Now, it doesn't matter if it's a phone number, if it's an address, an email, it just has to be one point of contact. Doesn't mean you can't have 20, you have as many as you want, but you must have at least one point of contact somehow connected by that brokerage name, above, below, adjacent to, but it must be there. Everybody clear on that? Okay, so what are the violations in this picture here? Looking for your piece of paradise. Look no further. To schedule your private visit, contact me. Anybody? Bunch of stuff on here.
Well, I don't have the brokerage name. Do you have to have the
Yes.
broker?
No brokerage name.
Number, some name.
Sotheby's and the web address is not good enough?
No, Premier Sotheby's and the web address is not good enough.
Okay.
Because also what has to be next to it, the brokerage name,
Brokerage name.
has to have a point of contact, which I don't even have a point of contact here. So that was just stupid because why I'd say contact me. I mean, they could message me, but you know what I mean? So I would have had to write Carrie and what else? I just told you my name.
Last name.
My last name is not legal, right? So those are things that are really important. Now, here's the question. If this isn't my listing, can I share it? Can I do this to something that's not my listing?
If it's not your listing?
It's not my list. None of them. Well, they're all my
Well, I
listing.
mean, yeah.
No, but can I do that is the question.
Not without asking, not without
Not
asking for
without
permission in
asking
written.
for permission. Yes. You want to, you can share any listing because on the bottom of the listing, if you shared it from Sotheby's, if you shared from any, it'll say listing courtesy of, not a problem. But you want to start advertising for people to contact you to go show that listing, you better ask that listing agent if you could do that.
In writing.
In writing. I don't care if it's a text, I don't care if it's an email, but I would get that in right now. With Premier, we're pretty good, you know, everybody knows it, but still. But if you can do it outside of our brokerage if you wanted to, but always make sure you have in writing that they've given you permission to do so. And when you share it, they must see listing courtesy of if it is not your listing. So the cool thing is this is a hyperlink, which is shared from our website. So if they click on it, it'll say listing courtesy of, so we're fine. So mostly sharing from our stuff, whether Premier Sotheby's site or Sotheby's site, you can share for any of that. And listen, if it's a property down in Aruba, you're not going to say, Jules, I don't know about you, but most people aren't going to say, message me for a private tour, right?
Hey, Carrie,
Yes.
FaceTime.
doing this on Instagram, we can't just share a link. We'd have to. So what I do is I ask permission to the agent that I have go on the listing, download the pictures, and then post them.
you're fine with that. But again, put down there in the, the comment section, the three things.
Mhm.
Your name is your legally licensed, your
Yeah.
company name, and a point of contact.
And
Absolutely.
but I don't have to write down the listing courtesy of.
Well, because Instagram doesn't really do that kind of a thing. I have not seen that to be an issue. I mean, really, truly, you better have in writing that you have but you can't make it sound like it's your listing. That's the most important thing.
Okay,
So,
now I'm not gonna say like new listing on market, you know.
well, people do that.
Yeah.
I've even seen it in mail where they send you all these listings and say, oh, we sold this. Well, you didn't sell
Yeah,
it.
I've seen that.
You
Okay.
weren't even on that. That's a huge violation, right? Because it's always important that the customer understands the truth. So there's no deceptive marketing. So that's really where that comes in. So it's really more for the deceptive marketing. So if you're clear that it's not your listing, but if you want more information about the listing, as long as you have in writing that it's okay. But if you're going to bring it somewhere where you're going to try to lead capture, I would always make sure it says listing courtesy of. But it is harder in Instagram. You are correct.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay. So again, permission in writing. Make sure you're not missing any of those points of context. Your name is your license, the company name. And by the way, this is why the team rules came about with FREC. I was in many of the meetings with FREC as they were coming up with those team rules. There were so many teams that were advertising and didn't even have the brokerage on it. Horrible. So yeah, you didn't even know. So everybody, the consumer would think, right? Well, that's the brokerage.
Right.
Well, no, that's not the brokerage. So that's why they started. And remember, team advertising has the same effect on a person. Your name cannot be so much bigger than the company name. You can't have yours in 18 font and the company name in 6. That doesn't work. That's a violation. I don't know why you'd want to, especially ours. Like we wouldn't want to, right? But again, you've got to make sure that they have equal billing, if you will. And if you have a team name, you could use that, but the team name still must have a person's contact name, still must have a brokerage.
Good morning.
must have a
I'm
point of
attending a
contact.
Zoom, but I just saw that,
Put it in my notes and copy and paste it every time I make a post.
That's a good idea. Okay, this is a big thing, guys. I'm going to talk about this briefly. I don't know if we've talked about this before, so if we did, you could cut me off. But Facebook groups, masterminds. I know a bunch of you guys are on them. A lot of you guys think that they're private because you have to join, right? But it's about the permission levels set by the administrators of that page. So sometimes people can read the first 3 posts before they have to sign up, right? You've seen
Yeah,
those.
preview it, yeah.
You can preview it. So is it really private? Now, I just want to ask you, like, not that I've ever seen this, I've seen it a lot, none of my agents though, when they're talking about, for example, oh my gosh, can you believe this one's at this % commission? I saw another one down the road at that commission. And then someone else says, I know they're killing me, these commission. That's antitrust violation right there. That is a federal
Yeah, I
offense.
see it all the time.
I see it all the time too.
All the
Sherman Antitrust Act. We are not allowed to set pricing, which is why we should never, ever talk about commission. Ever, never, ever, never. Unless you're obviously in a one-on-one with your customer, right? But on a Facebook social group, don't engage in that conversation. Another thing, we all know, we talk about it in private, but on social media, oh, this agent on the other side, and they're so incompetent, and this is what they did. That's a code of ethics violation, guys. You're not allowed to talk negatively about another professional and put them in a negative light. That is a code of ethics violation.
yes.
Don't do it. We see it all the time. And here's another one. When you're talking about this customer, oh, I wanted to fire this seller. This is what they did. And this is how it went down. Code of ethics violation. We can't talk about the customer either. There's privacy that we're not allowed to be able to talk about. So when people are sharing these, and it's all frustration related, these things can definitely be not only code of ethics, but you can take a quick screenshot of that sucker. And before you know, you're getting hauled into the board. And who wants to go to realtor jail? Like, not good, right? Don't do it. I'm going to say, I don't know this agent. I just got them. I don't know who they are. No, I'm just kidding. I will tell you a true story about this. And it was Tasha. And Tasha was in a deal. Listen, we've all been in these deals where buyers and sellers can't agree, right? Hello, it's real estate. And this was one of those deals. And the agent on the other side got really mad because they felt as if he could have made the person agree more, because we totally control our sellers, right? Anyway, last time I checked, they kind of had a mind of their own and they actually own the house. But anyway, this agent went to her business page and wrote a testimony and gave her a horrible review. Code of ethics violation, you think? All I needed to do is take a screenshot of that, which I did. And of course, I sent it over to the broker and said, can we work this out or do we need to go to the board? And luckily, we were able to work it out very, very quickly. That's a huge violation right there. So just be very, very careful. Follow the golden rule. What your mom and your grandma tell you. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? Okay. Any questions on any of that, guys? By the way, wire fraud, our real estate industry has been hit more. We're the second largest target group since 2017. And this is getting worse every day. So make sure you're always using our wire fraud policy for sure. But most importantly, never be involved in the transfer of information from the title company to the customer. Even if it's an encrypted file, you know, there's apps where they just take out the encrypted file and edit another one. Don't do it. Just stay completely out of it. And also be very, very careful that any information that has to do with the customer's personal information is going to your company email. Because remember, if it doesn't go to your company email, E&O does not cover it. Exactly. So we want to make sure that you are covered 150%.
You only have to tell me that once.
Okay. Any questions about any of that? No. Okay, great. So now we're going to jump
Maria,
back.
I have a question.
Sure.
So when you're working with international customers and you're supposed to call to confirm the wire information, they ask us to do it.
Don't do it.
And how do you tell them, no, so sorry, not doing it for you?
Make the title company call them or have that. You have to, even if you connect the call, you can be the connector of the call, but don't be the one confirming the information. If
Okay.
you're the one who confirmed the information and their money gets stolen, who are they suing?
Yeah. Okay.
Right? I don't want to be sued, guys. Do you? Like, none of us want to be sued. So, okay. So we talked about last time InStock Social. Yes. We talked about Buffer. Yes. Did everybody sign up for Buffer? Publish.buffer.com. We all do that. 3 accounts for free. Now, did everybody go and do Pablo? Pablo is a dear friend of mine. You're going to love Pablo because you know I do. So let me show you a little bit about what Pablo is. Now, Pablo is a Chrome extension, just like Buffer is a Chrome extension. Pablo connects with, have I showed you guys? I'm sure I've told many of you, but Pixabay. Let's go to Pixabay real quick. Pixabay is a fabulous site with royalty-free stock images. So we don't have to worry about copyright. Amazing. And in addition to photos, they have all sorts of cool stuff, including videos. So this is what I love about Pixabay. You can go here, you can search, I like to search beach, but you can search whatever you want. Although that beach thing I posted on Instagram yesterday was really from my beach trip, which was really nice. But, and you
Rub it in, rub it in, rub it in.
I know it was only 2 days, so I want to go back. Okay, so here is, you can see what they look like when you just hover over them. And you can download these for free. So whatever you wanted to do they have some fabulous videos, some fabulous photos. These are great. But now you have to do something with this, right? So you could upload into Canva, that kind of thing. But this is what's cool. Pablo is only for images, not for video. But Pablo links to Pixabay. So instead of going to Pixabay, download an image, and Pablo is this connector that actually has all of these Pixabay photos and images here. And it gives you all the different sizes that you want to make your post look like right here. And so if I wanted to say beach, for example, I have all these, see, it tells me right here, Pixabay, Pixabay, Pixabay. So it tells me where they came from. So I double click on it. It'll pop up into my window. There it is. Maybe I want to do a bigger one. Maybe I want to do a smaller one. And then I can change contrast. So maybe I don't want contrast. Maybe I want it to be blurred in the back, right? You can make it look any way you want to. And then you can change the text. So whatever you want to say is the beach calling Florida. We're waiting. Right? There you go. And you can change the color, you can change the size of the font, whatever you wanted to do. You can change the type of font that you want, whatever you want to put on here. And then this is what's really cool. you can go ahead right from Pixabay, share and download. So you can either send it direct to somewhere or you can buffer this. So when you're creating that content calendar and you wanted to do something about the beach, boom, here you go. I just got this wonderful little thing set up for buffer. I can say I want it for my LinkedIn, I want it for my Twitter, and I want it for my Facebook. Now for LinkedIn, I want to say something important, right? So I'm going to give a link to all the beaches in Florida, or I'm going to talk about the number of tourists that are still coming to our Florida beaches. Again, because who's on LinkedIn, right? People are going for content. So I'm going to change this a little bit and add something a little more interesting, maybe a link to a story. Maybe it's an Inman story about beaches, whatever that is. Facebook, again, maybe I, in Facebook want to say something. My people on Facebook, I might say something about you deserve some R&R, the beach is waiting, whatever. And Twitter, who's on Twitter, guys? We didn't do a Twitter thing, but I'll tell you who's on Twitter. Business professionals who want short snippets of information quick. So what would be good? Maybe you give a comparison. The prices on the Gulf Coast versus the prices on the East Coast of Florida. Different, aren't they? Maybe you want to give a different adventure. Maybe you talk about to buy property in California on the beach, to buy property here in Florida on the beach, right? But you want to add something short, sweet, to the point that's going to capture somebody's information. Once you create it, you just hit add to queue. And again, you can pick your day. So if you wanted, you could schedule your posts out and you can pick which day, because this is my Wednesday that I'm doing something about what's happening with local beaches or whatever. So you can pick the time, you can do it for the same for all three, or you can put different times in each. If I just said add to queue, it'll automatically add it in line with all the other ones I have, and they'll never be at the same time. But for example, when I'm pre-posting for Thanksgiving, I don't really care. They can all go at the same time on Thanksgiving. 12 o'clock Thanksgiving, people are preparing their turkeys. They can say, oh, Carrie's saying happy Thanksgiving, whatever. Doesn't matter. So it's up to you to decide. It's that easy. That is Pablo. Any questions about Pablo? Because I love Pablo. Where you get Pablo is
It's just for pictures, not for videos, correct?
correct. If you
Okay.
wanted to do the same thing for videos, I would use Canva.
Or Pixar, Canva, okay?
Has everybody seen Canva? Let's go to Canva real quick. If you're not on canva.com, I don't know how long we've been working together because frankly, I talk about it all the time. So everybody get on canva.com, join my team, C. Prieto's team. I have all sorts of things that you can just take and use and share that's already done. Oh, look, is the beach calling you? Because you know that I've done this obviously for a training. So here is a post that I uploaded the video from Pixabay and I just put it into I think this is a Facebook. You could pick the size and you upload it directly in here if it'll ever come open. There it is. And I have a little beach in here. I have my little words in here. The video will play. I added a really cool, this is called under elements. You've got stickers. So if you go under stickers, they have shapes and all that good stuff, but stickers are really cool. And you can see all, and they're all these really cool little animated things. And you can do words or they have pictures, all sorts of things. So you can take a peek at all that, which is really fun. How do you join my team? You tell me what your email is that you use and I invite you to it. Yeah, so if anybody wants me to add you to my team, just shoot me a text or an email and I'll add you to my Canva team. And then right here, so you see, like, for example, I have done all sorts of things, buying and selling bonus. All of these things you can use are already preset here for you. And they're let's see what's on my team. I've got all sorts of interesting things. See some things on my team that you can use. These are great little for hyperlinks. Thank you, Mr. Rafe. Yes, when you're on my team, please make a copy and then edit the copy. Because if you start copying right on this, you just changed this for everybody. Like somebody did this. I didn't have those pictures. So whoever was using Welcome to Diamond Cove, I didn't use Diamond Cove either. I don't know who that is. So if I could find out who you are, but I can see that you changed my specific thing, which is a problem because maybe somebody else wants to go in there and now it doesn't look the same. Here's the power sellers report. I could see somebody else went in there and put a different photo in there. Thankfully, they didn't change anything else. But again, thank you to Rave's point. When you go in here, just click on it, say, make a copy, and then edit that copy. Any questions? So Canva is super easy to use. Once you have whatever you, if you want to create a design, you can click on it right here. It'll tell you what kind of design you want to do. Facebook videos they have here, animated social, Instagram stories. They have all sorts of cool stuff already pre-set up for you. Let's say we just pick Facebook post for a second, and then it's the perfect size for Facebook. It has all sorts of free templates. They do, of course, as everything does, have a paid for version. Do I use it? No, I never use paid for versions because there's so many great ones for free. But so if I went in here, and let's say I like the look of this because the margarita caught my eye, but maybe I don't want to talk about margarita, I can then simply just change the photo out. I can upload my own photos. And then let's see, maybe I'm going to use my uploads instead of their photos. And I'm going to use, for example, a little picture, whatever this is of. And then I could change this right here. And it's not working, so slow. Okay, too slow. Let's just do this. Oh, it's not going. Anyway, when the internet works much better, it just switches out your picture.
Ready?
Yes. But let's say, for example, this isn't working here. So I just want to position this. I can just say, send it to back. And then there, it does the same thing. So however you want to set this up, you can. Once you get it exactly like you want it.
No, don't do that. Because that's too confusing. Okay, listen, because they're gonna go like this.
Okay, so there. People don't get the mute thing. Okay. So when this is perfect, you got it just like you want it. Maybe I want to add, again, some audio, video. You can add video in here. With videos, you can use the videos that they have. Some of the things are going to be free. Some of these things also link to Pixabay. It'll tell you if they're free, but then it'll tell you if there's a royalty on it. So what is this? This looks fabulous. Let's add this. Is it a video? What's the video? Oh, you know what that reminds me of? Although it's really a bride, but that one totally reminded me of the one in Sotheby's when she opens the windows. But anyway, but you could also upload your own videos. So if you go to upload, you can upload a video, you can upload audio, which you can get right from our website. So here you go. We got some videos in here you can throw in there, however you want to do that. And then once it's the way you want to, you can either publish it to Facebook right there, or you can download this. Now, if it's a video file, I'm going to suggest instead of a video, I like a GIF. I usually think that's a much easier, it's better quality to download it. And then you can just hit download and then you can upload it into Buffer. So that's another, so it doesn't directly link to Buffer, which is why I like Pablo better. But if you're going to be using video, obviously Canva is going to be better for you. If you want more animation to make it a little fancier, I would use Canva. But for a very simple post that you just kind of want to make your own thing, Pablo works fabulous. Another really cool thing about when you have these Chrome extensions, so here's Buffer, here's Pablo, like I have all these Chrome extensions, right? If I'm over here and let's say I did a search for Florida beaches, right? And let's say I was just happened to be in something, images, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of times, well, let's see if I went to Inman, you'll get, it's so slow, it's not working. I should just pull it up like a, let's see. A little Pablo will pop up in the corner. And then let's see here, like, is it gonna pop up? It's so slow. You'll get the little Pablo mark that'll pop up and you can click on it and it'll open right into Pablo. So that's another really cool thing about having Pablo as a Chrome extension. Let's say we went over here. Do they have anything?
Can we
good?
add sound?
Yes, not in Pablo though. I don't think Pablo does do audio. Nope.
Pablo's mostly pictures, right? So-
Pablo's images. But but if you're doing your content calendar for the week, and you're just posting some interesting stuff about Wellness Wednesday, and you want to have a link that goes to maybe this really cool article created by the Mayo Clinic, and you want to show, a cool picture about gloves or whatever the case is, you can, instead of just linking it there, you can actually create a nice little thing and then add the link so they can go see the article if they want to. It's a great way to use Pablo. But Canva, yes, you can add everything in terms of audio, video, all of that. Specification deals. Did you guys see that? I was going to.
Just because under the GIF, it said no sound. That's why I.
Yeah, but see here, we have audio right here. So you
Okay,
can
perfect.
upload them, or they do have some free audio too. Right
Are we
here.
allowed to use the free audio from them? That's fine.
Yes,
right?
if it's from them, you can see which ones are free. But again, on your listing videos, no. They're not going to want to send it all through Sotheby's. On your social media, you'll be okay as long as it is obviously
Okay, got
free
it.
here. But see, some of these things are pro. So you might want to just go and download them right from our Premier Insight, because we have a huge audio file in there and you can take a bunch of stuff for free.
But if you do have the pro, you can use it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's like you're paying for the imaging. Just like if you use iMovie, it has a lot of sound and audio in there as well. You're okay with that, right?
Okay.
But it's just, we're not going to let you use that kind of stuff for your videos, for your listings, because we want to know whatever, we want the actual copyright piece that we have the rights to use
Right.
the music.
Right.
Right? All right. Any questions? Because I think we covered a lot. We went through some more stuff that we didn't kind of cover before in terms of the rules, the laws, and things of that nature that I think are really important, because right now what's happening too is, remember, FREC is going online. And if they see that you've done a post that's an advertisement and you didn't put your name or you didn't put the company name, they're giving you an automatic $500 fine. So you probably don't want that. So just want to say, be very careful that you are following these rules, because people are looking, and it's just another great way for them to make some money, right? $500 is sweet for them, and you just get it in the mail.
If we have potentially posted stuff that violates this, should we go back and edit them?
Yes. Mhm. Rafe's question was, if we posted stuff that violated FREC rules, should we? Thanks, Jeannie. Should we go ahead and delete them or edit them? Yes. Video, especially. If you have any video out there with music that's not copyright, take it down, because you've got a lot of attorneys out there that are, scanning to see what they can use to try to create a lawsuit. And they could do a cease and desist, and that you have to take it down in 24 hours, but you might not have realized that it's in your Facebook library. And so you might have taken it off the post, but you didn't remove it from your library, and now it's an $8,000 fine.
What if it's something that's on Instagram or on Facebook, like when you put post pictures in your stories and you're able to use their music?
Yeah, it's their music that they have out there, so
Okay.
that's going to be okay.
Okay.
It's really like, especially I've seen a lot of agents take popular music
Mhm.
and put it in there. You can't do that. They're going to really go after you with that.
And can I use popular music on my Instagram stories? If I'm just, riding my bike, for example, I'm not showing a house specifically.
Okay, do you
But
want?
it's on Instagram?
Yeah, it's on Instagram, but the reality is, could somebody come after you for copyright? Where are you getting the music? Are you uploading it from a file? You don't own the file. Do you own the music? Do you have the
No,
copyright?
it's on Instagram.
Is it the Instagram? If it's the Instagram music that they have, you're okay, because it comes from that platform. Yes. If you're uploading it from your playlist, I would say don't do it. You follow me?
Yeah.
So anything that the platform you're on, Facebook, Instagram, is offering you, you're okay with that, because they're offering it to everybody to use, right? So if there's going to be a copyright error, problem, they're going to go after the place that's offering it to everybody. But if it's something from your iPhone that you have a playlist and you want to upload a song, do you have the copyright for that song? Just because you bought down the playlist doesn't mean that you get to use it for whatever you want. That's where I'm saying don't do that, because they will come after you for that, which is horrible. But that's what these companies are doing. It's
They
like,
do offer popular music, but not on the business page. They offer it on.
and exactly. Well, yeah.
And post it to your business page, or if you share on both.
Right, but remember, keep in mind that most of these attorneys that are going to be scouring for this stuff are going to be looking at business pages first, right? That's what they're going to be looking at. Because the concept is too that you're not just sharing something, you're using something for some type of financial gain. And that's where things get really muddy. So even if you went and you had a Creative Commons license and you got it off of, can't think of the name, of Flickr, right? Even those Creative Commons licenses, some things will say can't be used for commercial gain, can't be used on any type of commercial application, can't be used or in correlation with any type of sale. They'll have very specific things that they'll allow you to use the photo for this, but not for that, for this type of media, but not that media. So that's where I'm saying, you know, when it comes to your business pages, I'd be very, 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 very careful. Again, if you're sharing from what they're giving you, I'd feel fine about that, but I wouldn't be uploading it from anything you had. Great question, Andrea. Thank you. Anybody else have any other questions? All right. Well, it's been great seeing you guys. So let's see. Next week is still March. Any suggestions on what you guys want to go over next week? Any thoughts? Do we want to continue more social? Do we want to do some other stuff? What do we want to do?
I feel like social media, you're always teaching us or actually, you know, sharing the sites and the best practice and things. I mean, I'm taking an awful lot of information and applying from social media, but I do not know anybody else. I mean, really, I could start the whole training from day one, but I'm just going to focus on social media.
Well, do you guys want to do a Facebook ad campaign? We can actually create a Facebook ad campaign together, because that's a little bit complicated and a lot of steps involved. And so we can kind of go through creating custom audiences, how we can use Remind with creating custom audiences, how we can use the fact that Facebook follows the video people to add to your custom audience. So that'd be cool. We could do that next week. You guys in?
Yes.
All right. Facebook ad campaign next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Have a great rest of your day, guys. Great seeing you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.